Did Red Bull really just release a grapefruit flavor? Girl, your consumer base can't have grapefruit. I mean, this is very true for probably a significant portion of Red Bull users, especially the kinds of people that would be buying a grapefruit flavor of Red Bull. For those of you that don't know or don't get the joke, if you were taking antidepressants, you cannot have grapefruit. Main reason basically being that grapefruit prevents your body from breaking down the antidepressants, which increases the concentration of it in your blood, which can increase side effects and potential overdoses. Don't have grapefruit and take antidepressants. Don't do it. This video brought to you by my YouTube members and patrons. Thank you guys. How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to another subreddit video. Today we are going to be taking a look at r/non-political Twitter. I've been in this subreddit before and I just always enjoy it. It's nice to take a break from all of the politics, even if this is around Twitter, a social media platform that I don't use because of the person who owns it. A lot of the tweets that get posted here tend to be quite funny, so I like reading through them. It's nice to see that the platform at least is still being used by people who aren't just, you know, those people. Very quickly before we begin, I just wanted to mention that YouTube members and patrons, you guys get an extra video every single week for as low as £1 a month. That equates to about 25p per video. So if that is something that interests you, please do consider joining, as it really helps support the channel. Right, without further ado, let's get into the subreddit, shall we? My dad texting me with some bad news. You'd think he'd lost a son. Bad news. After 36 years, the garage fridge finally died. Been through a lot together. Outlasted 3 trucks, 2 wives. Went out quiet like a cowboy. Must have kept 10,000 beers cold. Thinking about giving it a proper funeral. 24-pack every month for 36 years is 10,368 beers. Math checks out. That's the best part for me, is that someone checks the math and it works. He was right. Like, I find that really funny. That's just the perfect extra detail. But man, you know, something like that, a fridge like that, absolutely, that is a tragedy. This fridge has been with him for so long. That is a fallen brother right there. That is a fallen brother. The idea of him having a little funeral for it, like digging a hole in the garden, having a little speech in its honor, and then burying it in the garden is quite funny to me. You shouldn't do that. You should dispose of fridges properly because they have chemicals in them that are really bad for the atmosphere. But yeah, it's just really funny. Remember when that woman caught her husband cheating when she was away on a trip? Because she got a notification that someone weighing 130 pounds was on their smart scale at like 3 a.m. I had not heard about this, but that's, I was gonna say hilarious, but I don't know if that's the right word. But genuinely, like, this really raises a question for me. That is, who sleeps with someone else's husband? First of all, who sleeps with someone else's husband? And for the husbands out there, why are you sleeping with other women? But like, that aside, who sleeps with someone else's husband and then at 3 a.m. is like, I wonder what I weigh. Weird thing to be doing at 3 a.m. regardless. But in someone else's house, on someone else's scales, just at 3 a.m. being like, meh, I wonder what I weigh. Also, especially in an era where smart scales exist and are like increasingly common and popular. This is such a weird scenario for me that you would like sleep with someone like who's married. Maybe she didn't know he was married, sure. But to sleep with someone and then at 3 a.m. be like, I need to weigh myself. That's just weird. It's just, I don't know. It's a weird compulsion. When I was in high school, I ordered adult movies from pay-per-view. My parents were ordering too and didn't know at first if it was me or them running it up. Bill got up to $600. One day at dinner, my father directly said to no one in particular, "It stops now." He knew that something was up, that this was causing a problem. He's like, okay, we've all had our fun. This ends. No more. Too much money. Man, this is one of those concepts that like pay-per-view channels still exist, right? And I don't understand pay-per-view movies and that kind of thing, because in the 21st century you can get everything for free, right? And those kinds of things are very readily available. So why people pay, I don't understand. I really don't understand, especially when it's like outrageously overpriced. I don't get it. Yo, what the fuck did Apple do to the iPhone keyboard? Because I I genuinely feel like I'm losing my mind typing these days. This isn't just you. Anybody else who has been feeling this isn't just you. If you look it up on YouTube, there are videos where people have done breakdowns on just the Apple keyboard making no sense, because it's like a legitimate coding issue at this point, because there's videos of they'll like type out a word and they'll type a letter, and the Apple keyboard will show the letter that they pressed, the correct letter, and then it will write the wrong letter. Like, this is a real issue, and it'll change words that you've typed that are spelt correctly when you type a different word, because it thinks you wanted a different word, despite the fact that the correct word you typed already is already correctly spelled and grammatically correct. How have they made the keyboard worse? I'm one of those freaks that uses the swipe keyboard or the flow keyboard or whatever platform you're using calls it, right? I came from Android, and the Google version, right? Like the Gboard swipe keyboard is probably the best version of the swipe keyboard you can get, right? However, on the iPhone, it is a buggy, poorly implemented mess. It's not good at all. I used it for probably a year before I finally gave up on it and went back to using the Apple keyboard, right? Which has the swipe feature, so I do still use that. But the Apple swipe keyboard is fucking garbage. It autofills words that I would never want it to use, and it does it constantly, more than the words that I want it to use. I, probably 9 times out of 10, try and type the word and, A-N-D, and it will autocorrect it with anything other than and, every time. And I'll do it 3 times, it'll give me 3 different words that aren't and then I'll have to type it out manually. And it does it every time, right? I don't know anyone called Andy. If it doesn't give me Andy, it gives me ands. A-N-D apostrophe S. That's not even a word. Who has ever used that word? Who has ever deliberately typed in A-N-D apostrophe S? It's not a fucking word. Why would I want to type that? And why would I want to type that more than and, one of the most commonly used words in the entire English dictionary? And I don't have an option to remove those words from my keyboard. I don't have an option to customize the words that the keyboard gives me in that regard, which you had on Google. How have they fucked it up that badly? And that's not the only one. There's plenty of examples like that, but that's the most common one because, surprisingly, and one of the most common words is one of the words that I have the most issues with. I just don't understand how they fucked it up that badly. It's been this bad for the entire time that I have been using the Apple keyboard on Apple phones. The problem is, when using Google keyboards, it doesn't fucking work properly. There is functionality that just doesn't exist, like the emoji keyboards being broken or not being able to add GIFs and shit like that. Like, the keyboard's just broken if you use Google. You get most of the functionality, but not all of it. But the Apple keyboard is fucking trash, so I have to choose. Why do Americans say tuna fish? We know tuna is a fish. You can just say tuna. I can't wait to have chicken bird for lunch tomorrow. Gonna have me some chicken bird and tuna fish. It is true though. Like, everywhere else we just say tuna, right? Because we know what tuna is. It's a very commonly eaten fish. We know what you don't need. It'd be like saying like, oh, I'm gonna have some macaroni pasta. Like, we know what macaroni is. That's another one that's kind of weird. I kind of get it and kind of don't. So macaroni cheese. The dish is called macaroni cheese. Doesn't have an and in it, but you shorten it, it's mac and cheese. Why? You've shortened it, then added an extra syllable. So you've made the shortening of it less efficient, right? You've got spaghetti bolognese, right? It's not spaghetti and bolognese. Like, pasta dishes generally don't have an and in them. Macaroni cheese. It's not mac and cheese. Macaroni cheese. Mac and cheese is only 1 syllable less at that point. It's 2 syllables less. I counted. But even still, it would be 3 syllables less if you just said like mac cheese, you know? Like in the UK, it's not all that uncommon for us to say spag bol to shorten spaghetti bolognese, which sounds silly, but it's way shorter than spaghetti bolognese, right? Spag bol. But mac and cheese is just, it's just kind of a weird one. It's one of those annoying habits that I have, that I do say it because I have picked it up because of how prolific American media and American dialect is worldwide now. But it kind of bothers me. I don't really get it. My dad would read teen books as they were becoming popular, so if we asked to read them, he knew if they were appropriate, which means that he read the entire Twilight Saga before I did and was like, I mean, you can read it if you want, but it's really weird. That is quite funny. But also, you can just look up the synopsis of a book, right? You can just look it up and find out if it's like generally regarded as appropriate or not. It's going to be a lot quicker than reading the whole book. You can use that time to read books that you actually want to read. I mean, but I mean, this is a pretty accurate statement regarding Twilight, to be honest. It's pretty fucking weird. Some of the plot points, especially later on, like the whole Jacob and Bella's daughter thing, this is a bit fucking weird. I digress. I'm not talking about Twilight on this channel. We only talk about good movies here. That's a lie. We talk about shit movies all the time. I'm just gonna move on. It's wild that the most effective way to save something as a PDF is to lie to your computer that you're about to print it. Is this something people struggle with? PDFs just have a download button on them. What's a good example of a PDF I can demonstrate that I can find for free? Let's look up the AD&D 2nd edition player's handbook. AD&D PHB PDF, right? So we go over there. We've got one from WordPress, sure, right? See that button? That's a download button. Downloads it as a fucking PDF. Let's go, I don't know, Google Drive. We will use another example, right? So we'll go to a document. What document have I got that would be a good example of this? I don't know, fucking a backstory for one of my D&D characters. It's edgy, whatever. I don't care, right? So file, download, PDF. Okay, another example. Let's open a document on the PC. So I use LibreOffice. So I just opened LibreOffice Calc. That's the wrong one. We'll open up another D&D document. How about that? Because I'm pretty sure I've got one. Yeah, Aaron and Yoru pact. A pact that I made for one of my characters to pact with a player. So we've got a document. This is a Word document, straight up Word document. That's all it is, right? So then file, right? Export as PDF. I don't see the struggle. Is this something people struggle with? With the level of technology we have in the modern era, and saving a document as a PDF is something people struggle with. The tools are pretty available for you there. I don't like PDFs. If I can avoid using them, I do. For some things like D&D books, they're kind of the best option you've got, but I don't like them. But it's not difficult. It's really not. How is this something people struggle with? My son is turning 2 tomorrow, but since money is tight, we're just not gonna tell him. That's so mean. That's so mean. Sometimes though, you gotta do what you gotta do, you know? Sometimes you can't afford it. You can't afford it. He's not gonna notice. He's 2 years old. He's not even gonna remember, right? 10 years down the line, he's not even gonna know that you skipped his 2nd birthday. But man, it's cold. It's cold though. But so is living without heating, you know? And I get by. Cheating during a break doesn't count. Halftime exists so players can rest and prepare for the second half, not for them to start a new match. Now, I'm sure people have different opinions on this, and I think a huge part of it largely comes down to if this is something you've discussed or not, right? If you are on a break with a relationship, knowing you both have the intention of like having a bit of space, figuring shit out, and then getting back together, if you have discussed seeing other people in that time, then that's a completely different matter, right? That's something you've discussed. If you haven't, that changes things, right? But the thing is, for me, the damning nail in the coffin for this, right, is that if she didn't see it as a bad thing, if she wasn't very much aware of the fact that this isn't something that people agree with, she wouldn't have called it cheating. By calling it cheating, she's outwardly accepting that this is something she shouldn't be doing, right? If it doesn't count, if it's something that your partner that you're on a break with was okay with, it wouldn't be cheating because she's called it that. She's acknowledged that there's something wrong with it, right? That's the big thing for me, personally. Overwatch 2 is dropping the 2, and the game will just be called Overwatch moving forwards. Overwatch 2 is dropping the 2? Makes sense. Dropping a number 2 always reminds me of Overwatch. Oh! Overwatch peaked when Anna was released and it was all downhill from there. Don't at me. What are you gonna do? Angrily play a bad game at me? I'm not playing it. I've played so many JRPGs that if I walked into this room, I'd fight the Pope. Maybe take out his healers first. You always take out the healers first. You gotta take out the 2 healers first. But also, what the fuck, Catholic Church? What is that sculpture? What the fuck is going? You cannot put a sculpture like that in a room behind a religious leader, okay? Because yeah, that's fine. You've created Dark Souls or Elden Ring, right? Even Bloodborne. In fact, definitely Bloodborne. This is is 100% a Bloodborne boss. You kill the Pope, that statue behind him is getting the fuck up. You beat that statue's eating the Pope and ascending. This is a 3-stage boss, and it's going to kick my ass 60 times before I beat it, right? Who made this sculpture and was like, this will convey the love and generosity of the Catholic Church? This is a nightmare. This is a statue that you'd get in a game that deliberately calls upon the controversy and corruption in modern religion, right? Like 100%. When I was 23, I saw a bunch of really cute velvet furniture on the side of the road. Totally nice. Took it in, and a year later, a friend's new girlfriend came to my house, and it turns out I'd stolen her entire living room while she was moving. Now, there's no way you wouldn't know, right? Come on. The amount of time it would take you to pick up like an entire set of velvet furniture on the side of a road, someone would have come out in that time and been like, hey, why are you stealing my furniture, right? Like, you would know something. There would be signs, right? There's not, you'd find out, right? My siblings and I went out to dinner with my dad, and we started talking about dad jokes we liked. All of a sudden, my dad goes, I've only made 3 dad jokes my entire life, and they're all sitting in front of me right now. God damn, he's been sitting on that one for a while, right? He's been playing the long game, waiting for an opportunity to drop that one. That's devastating. Absolutely devastating. Always check IKEA's kids section. That's where the real design team is cooking. Case in point, this giraffe lamp. The giraffe lamp, it looks like a Toy Story character whose entire character is being depressed. You know, this is a Toy Story character that's like, why have I been made to exist just to have depression? My entire existence is just sadness. Who would make me this way? The whole film, the character's ongoing joke is that it tries to kill itself. It's like the bunny in Igor. Remember Igor? Fuck, that's a throwback. It's like the bunny in that. Breaking. I'm not even going to try and say that name. The 26-year-old founder of fintech startup Calder Forbes 2025 30 under 30 honoree, fuck me, I struggled to read that, faces up to 52 years in prison for an alleged $7 million fraud. The Forbes 30 under 30 to prison pipeline is my Roman Empire. At this point, I hear more about them going to prison than not. Like, I feel like the rate of Forbes 30 under 30 people going to prison is higher than not, right? And to be fair, that's probably one of those, like, you know, if something sounds too good to be true, it's probably too good to be true. So I guess it's not surprising, but that is the era we live in, right? And the final post. Microsoft CEO warns that we must do something useful with AI or they'll lose social permission to burn electricity on it. You put $300 billion into this and you still don't have a use for it? Honestly though, like, why is that on us? Why? So Microsoft creates an AI that no one wants, that no one asked for, that doesn't work properly, that doesn't actually serve to replace any function in a usable way, right? Searching, you still have to fact check the things that AI tells you. Using Excel, the maths is often wrong. Using it for coding, the coding can be wrong. There's a lot of steps, right? But why is it on us to give it a use? Not the platform that made it, that's trying to sell it to investors to make money. It's not on them to make it useful. It's on us to make it useful. To make something that we don't want useful. And by useful, obviously they mean profitable. That's not our fucking problem. We don't want the AI. It's terrible for the environment. It's terrible for just about everything. We don't want it. You do something about it, Microsoft. You know what? Actually, good. I hope it fails and they lose the social permission to burn electricity on it because I don't want it in my fucking operating system. At the very least, if they lose all their money on it, maybe it won't be a forced item because they won't have the money to run it if everybody has it on their OS. I don't fucking want it. So good. And that's where I'm going to end the video. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed. Ah, boy. If you would like to support me in making more content like this, then I have a Patreon in the description down below, or equally, you can click on that join button on the channel to support me. It helps a lot more than you might realize, but by no means should you feel like you have to. I'm going to keep making content regardless. But a huge, massive special thank you to all of the wonderful YouTube members and patrons that do support me. All of your names are up on screen right now. It genuinely helps so much, and it genuinely means so much. So thank you to everybody that does. Other than that, thank you very much for watching, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed, and as always, I will see you in the next video. Peace out.